Shooting It Straight, episode number 2 for July 8th, 2025, The Bounce Back Mentality, Part 1.
Bam, son! This is Shoot It Straight, the podcast where life lessons don't come sugar-coated and excuses get bitched.
I'm Randy Black, podcast guy, professional question asker, and apparently the only one here who doesn't yell "Bam, son" in public.
Well, we're working on that, Randy. I'm Jim Clayton, coach, mentor, motivator, and the guy who still thinks a whistle may be the best motivational tool known to man.
Each week, we're taking what Jim's learned from the court, the drills, the discipline, the drive, and translating it into real-world success.
That's right. This ain't just about basketball. It's about showing up when life presses full court. It's about pushing through when the clock's ticking down.
If you're looking for fluff, well, you might just want to ride the bench.
We're here to help you believe bigger, achieve louder, and motivate stronger. So buckle up, and whatever you do, keep shooting it straight. Bam, son!
Welcome to Shooting It Straight, episode 2. I'm Randy Black here with my co-host,
Jim Clayton.
Jim, it is great to be with you again today, and I'm glad you came back for episode number 2.
Oh, hey, you're not gonna get rid of me that quick.
That's the goal, to not get rid of Jim that quick. Today, we're diving into what it really means to bounce back. You know, life, just like in sports, will throw punches. It'll deliver losses, and it'll test your limits. But it's not the fall that defines you. It's how you rise up. So in this episode, we're talking about resilience. It's a powerful mindset that helps you push through the pain, to stay in the fight, and to come out stronger on the other side. We're calling this the bounce back mentality. So Jim chose this topic of resilience for a very specific reason. And before we get in and start defining it, Jim, kind of share what is that reasoning for picking this?
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but this September will be 3 years that I was diagnosed with cancer, colon cancer, stage 4. Most people look at that when you see stage 4, that's a death sentence. So I use my coaching mentality along with some of my coaching friends, specifically a coach that we all know named Greg White. Greg is a former coach of Marshall University, University of Charleston, motivational speaker all over the country, runs basketball camps. So I told him that I had cancer. I didn't know he had cancer. And he says, well, here's what we got to do. We got to get the game plan. We got to get the facts. We got to determine how we're going to do it, and we got to execute the plan, just like a basketball game. Mm-hmm. So it took me a couple of weeks to get all the facts in. You know, got a plan. I went to Cleveland Clinic, got a second opinion, put a plan together, and made it work. Now, I didn't know all the things that were going to happen along this journey, but he kind of prepared me because he'd been down that journey himself.
Right.
So that was like gold. You know what I mean? I'm listening to it. It's so funny because everything he told me was exactly what happened. And, you know, cancer treatments do different things to different people. Okay? So for me, you know, it's not really been, I would say, all that bad. My body's been able to accept it. But there were times where, man, I hit some low points.
Right.
I mean, I just hit some low points. I lost 50, 60 pounds. Mm-hmm. I never was overweight, but I went from, 185 down to 140. And it just looked like I looked like a skeleton. And at that time, it's easy to feel sorry for yourself. But I couldn't do that.
Right. Because
the bottom line was I wasn't going to let it get me. And I was going to keeping on, doing what I'm doing. Don't stop, not going to stop. And I've been working ever since. I come to the gym. I just got off a chemo treatment today. I'm in the gym. We're right here. We're busting this out. So, I see the people over in this hospital. I see it. If you ever want a 30-second come back to life real quick, don't feel sorry for yourself, just stop down at Cabell Huntington on the second floor of the cancer center and just walk in there.
Yeah.
Odds are you're probably going to find somebody you might know that you didn't even know was suffering from this. Because people don't really go public with this a lot. The only reason I went public was because I wanted to share with people, tough times don't last, tough people do.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be pitiful and powerful at the same time. So you can't feel sorry for yourself. And we all have those little pity parties. So when I have a little pity party, I'll go, okay, you got 30 seconds or 10 seconds or 5 seconds. I reach up there with my index finger and I flick it off. You're done, gone. Now it's time to turn on the and that's how I attack it. It's a mental thing. We talked about the mindset. That's achieving the right mindset. That's the A in the word BAM. Okay, that's what that's like. So, I've had to bounce. I've had to adjust. I have my days where I feel good today. Tomorrow's Friday. Well, I know that's when I get a little tired.
Yeah.
I can tell you what's going to happen for that, but I can't let that happen.
Right.
Even though that's the way I feel, I got to keep pressing. Sometimes I have to sit down and take it easy. That's hard for me to do.
Oh, I know.
That's a hard pill for me to swallow. Sitting down, because I'm up, down, over, under, and through, and that's just the way I roll. And this wasn't going to stop me. And you know what? It had to stop me.
Good.
And so when I go over there and I see these people that are there, I talk to them, and I get them fired up. I get them feeling good about themselves, because some of them, they just sit there and you can tell they've kind of put in the white flag, they've surrendered. And you can't do that.
No.
You just can't do that. I saw a story, and I'll end on this one, that my daughter sent to me of a gentleman that had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. That's about the worst.
Yeah.
You don't survive from that. The doctor says, we can't do anything more for you. Says you need to go home. You got about 2 years. Enjoy the best you can. He said, So he started looking at some alternative things, and he started walking. Couldn't walk down into the driveway without. Started walking. Then that walk turned into a little run. Then that run turned into a little faster run. Well, let's fast forward 33 years later. He now runs marathons, triathlons, Ironman competition with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Now, if he'd have listened to those guys, says, pack your bags, give up, okay?
You wouldn't be here.
He wouldn't be here. But he didn't listen to them. The old saying, Jim Valvano, never give up.
Yep.
Never stop. Never give up. You got to keep believing in yourself. That's the first word of the letter, BAM. Believe in yourself. So all these principles in this cancer journey I'm on, and I'm whipping it. The doctors told me, he says, we can't get 100% of it today, but we can get 99.9%. So I thought about that for about 1 second. I said, well, Doc, what in life is guaranteed 100% of the time anyway? Nothing. I said, I'll take 99.9 anytime you want to go. And so I'm on that 99-point journey. I've got it about 99.9, and that's the way I'm going to keep it. If that's the way it is, I can still truck on and on and on for a lot of years and go.
Yeah.
But, again, that resiliency of that, when you get that call, you heard that commercial on TV, you got cancer.
Yeah.
And you just pause for a second. Did I really hear, did that guy just really say that?
Yeah.
It's a moment that nobody wants to get.
Yeah.
Well, I always believe, and we talked about this on our first episode, things happen for a reason. We don't always know what they are, and it's not really our judgment to try to, well, why is this happening to me? How come it's not happening to somebody else? There's a reason. And I know what the reason is now. I didn't know when I first started. But God's got a plan for me to share this, and uplift others. And it comes back to that teaching, that mentor, that mentality, that positive attitude, that you can take people out of deep, dark depression.
Yes.
With the right tone and the right atmosphere, and bring them right up out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm going to try to do. That's what I'm trying to do with this.
What you just said there hits home with me. My dad, we found out, last fall that he had prostate cancer, and his first reaction was to give up. It hit him hard. He's like, that's it. He's like, I'm going to close the business. I'm going to sell everything. I'm just, and it took, I don't want to say it was a metaphorical slap in the face from my mom to say, there is no reason for this. There's no reason to react this way. This is something that can be treated, and it will take time, but
100%.
we will get there. So he, it hit him hard, and he realized very quickly he had to bounce back from the bad news and start doing things differently. And he dove right in. He got going. They started his treatment plan. He did his radiation. He went, and they got it. His test came back, and he has no trace of the cancer at all.
It's awesome.
Because he didn't give up.
There's the
so
word.
I completely understand exactly where you're coming from.
And the crazy part about it is everybody who's listening to this has somebody in their family who has had this, currently has it, just been diagnosed, or is going to get it later in life. Just don't know it.
Right.
Now, it's not something you worry about, but when it hits you, bottom line is, what are you going to do about it?
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to. What are you going to do about it?
Well, it's like I told you, I had to go in December and have colonoscopy done because I was losing blood and they weren't sure where. And, they go in to do the procedure, and I'm not young, but I'm not old either. I'm 44 now. I was 43 at the time 43 at the time they did the procedure, and they found 7 polyps in there. And the doctor was really like, that's a lot. He's like, for your age, that's a lot. He's like, we're 99.9% sure we've got them all, but we're going to go back in 3 years and check everything again. And it hit me hard. Like, I was really, really concerned. And when I called my wife to give her the news, her response to me was, we just need to pray.
Absolutely, 100%.
And it was that, like I said, it's that metaphorical slap in the face. It woke me up to say, okay, well, then I'm going to have to do whatever I have to do to make sure that we take care of this, that we take this bad news and we work our way through it. 7 polyps taken out, 4 of them were precancerous. So I know that there's the possibility sitting there that it could happen. But, I'm not going to let it hold me back. I'm not going to let it beat me down. I'm going to keep fighting to, if it ends up being that's what develops, I'm going to bounce right off of it and keep working.
And they've made so many strides in this stuff now and different things. I went to Texas, MD Anderson. I've been to 3 different ones. I got 3 of the best doctors in the world. And they can come up with a plan. They've got it. But again, one of the doctors told me the biggest things, while you're healthy, while you're handling this, is because you never stop moving. I walk 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. That's almost 5 miles.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Not straight, like just walking up, down, left, right.
Yeah, you're all over the place.
I'm all over the place. I'm bouncing every which way but loose. And he says, that right there helps your body recover more than anything else. So you ain't got to worry about that, Doc, because I got that part covered. I'm never going to stop. And walking and moving. And that's just kind of how I do it. And, like I said, I would pass that on to anybody. But, like I said, it doesn't matter what happens to you. Well, it's how you going to handle it. Tough times don't last. Tough people do.
Yep.
And I'll tell you one last thing, and we'll move on. That you said something about prayer. I'm going to tell you something. All the prayers that I get from all my friends, those are the ones that hit harder than anything. I mean, I can talk to certain people, but somebody will send me something, and man, it just goes through me like my heart button just pow. And man, I'm sitting there, tears coming down. I'm not sad tears. They're happy tears. I'm just feeling it. I'm absorbing it. And sometimes just people just don't know the power of them just saying 1 or 2 little positive things that might just come right at the perfect time. And it's like, I just needed to hear that today, and that's what I try to send out to people. So I pass it on, and when you do that, I'm telling you, you'll feel better. You'll have a better day. You'll not feel sorry for yourself. You just say, okay, let's go. And I don't care. And I said this earlier, and I'll say it again. I'll say it multiple times. Don't care what kind of day you had today. I hope it was a great one. But if a day wasn't your best day ever, it ends at 12:01. And it starts a new one. And you ain't going to let tomorrow control the next day.
Exactly.
And that's what too many people do.
Exactly.
And you just got to learn how to do it. And that's something you learn. That ain't something you're born with. You learn it or you don't learn it. And if you don't learn it, life's going to be hard.
Yeah. So resilience. Let's take a minute. Let's define what resilience is. And you wrote a definition out for me. What did you write out there, Jim, that is your definition of resilience?
I said my definition of resilience is the ability to recover or adjust to change, some type of misfortune, or some extreme difficulty in your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. That's bounce back.
Yeah.
That's the key to everything. Not avoiding bad times, because bad times are going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what you do. It ain't always going to be perfect. But the question is, how do you deal with it?
Right.
How do you cope with it? Are you feeling sorry for yourself, or you smack it head on and say, I'm coming right at you?
Yep.
If you're waiting on me, you're backing up, because I'm coming at you. And, those setbacks, I look at setbacks a different way than most people. Setbacks are just the greatest chance to make the greatest comeback ever in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So a setback can set up the comeback with the right attitude, all those things. And that's my definition of resilience. It's like a crazy ball. When you throw it, see how it bounces off the wall? That's how you got to bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's an old saying says in boxing, if you get knocked down, if you can look up, you can get up. When you're face down, you're usually not getting up.
Exactly.
And that's kind of how I look at it. Every day, I look at it every day. Every day. So tomorrow, when I know I'm going to be a little tired, because I just tell you, I've been through this for 3 years, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going to let it happen.
Right.
I'll bounce out of that bed, let's go.
Yeah.
It's 4th of July, fireworks are going to go off, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, great things are happening in our, hey, I'm just going to celebrate life.
That's all you can do.
And that's how I'm going to take tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Those 24 hours, I'm going to bust it out and hang out with my friends, eat some good food, swim.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be beautiful weather.
Yeah. That's
my attitude.
One of the key things that I got out of looking at some of the notes and stuff that you had sent me was that it's the idea that what matters is your ability to cope with the challenges. It's not what the challenge is.
Nope.
It's how you respond. It's how you bounce back.
That's it. Response. And you can watch people and see their response just by looking at them. They just go like a wilted flower, or they go, them eyes light up, saying, what I got to do? Let's do it.
Yep.
Well, see, some people just, they're not around those type of people. And it's a culture. It just spreads, okay? Or it sinks like a rock.
Oh, yeah.
And, that's what I see when I go over. I've learned in my teaching career, my coaching career, my speaking career. If you ever watch in speaking, the speaker usually makes most of eye contact with the people in the first, second, or third row. Because they're the ones that are paying the closest attention. They can't see them way in the back.
Yeah.
So if you watch them, they'll study that crowd, and they'll pick out 2 or 3 that their heads are bouncing right with them.
Right.
And man, they'll focus in on them, and that just uplifts them. A lot of people don't know that stuff when you watch them, but you might see that the next time. But I'm just telling you, man, just bounce back, come back, attitude. It's all about all those things. And it's never going to change.
Yeah.
Never going to change.
Looking to level up your basketball skills? Whether you're a young player just learning the game or a high school athlete aiming for the next level, Sports City U Basketball Academy in Hurricane, West Virginia is where your journey begins and greatness is built. From private sessions and skills camps to team development and advanced clinics, Sports City U offers a range of programs that fit your goals. So if you're ready to train with purpose, improve your game, and learn from one of the best, call 304-562-2424 to get started today. One of the other things that I really found to be really interesting with what you outlined out and sent over to me as we prepared for this, and I read through and read some things of my own, was you had this concept of the 7 C's of resiliency. Let me run through those real quick, and then we'll start breaking them down. So you got competence, you've got confidence, connection, character, contribution, coping, and control. Those are what you called the 7 C's of resilience. Now, if you came up with those, that's genius. If you found them somewhere else, that person's a genius too.
Combination of both.
Awesome. So let's look at them and kind of break them down. So that first one in the 7 C's of resilience, competence.
I probably should have put 2 at 1.
Okay.
So let's start with 2.
So let's go with confidence first. Okay.
Confidence is believing you can do it.
Okay.
And confidence is very important. Oh, man, you got to have, my coach told me one time, you got to have a lot of confidence and no conscience. Let it go. It's gone. Just let it go. So confidence is believing. Competence is getting it done. See, some people believe they can do things, but competent people actually get it done. And I had a little girl one time in my health class, and we were doing a subject, and she says, I was talking about a video. I was going to go rent this video. And she says, I got that at home, coach. Now, this young lady, I'm not going to mention her name, but she's ultra successful young lady.
Okay. The
next day, I'm ready for her getting everything, got everything ready to go, and guess what? I'm waiting for her to come in. She said, I'll have it on your desk by 7:30. 7:30 came. 7:45 came. 8 o'clock came. She was nowhere to be found. The tape was nowhere to be seen. But I was ready. I had a backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
Next day, here she comes. I said, I thought you told me you was going to have that. Well, I wasn't. I said, now let me tell you something. That's competence.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't get it done. And not only did you didn't get it done, you didn't contact me to let you know it wasn't going to get done.
Right.
So from that point on, every time she'd send me something, I'd say, okay, Miss Competence. And she'd laugh. She goes, oh, you're never going to forget that. I said, I'm never going to let you. I said, I want you to use that as a lesson because you're going to be a leader in this country. And she is. She's running. She's one of the top dogs in this company. She's leading, and I said, you're going to experience this from the other side. So when somebody tells you they're going to do something and they do it, see, that's confidence and competence working together.
Yeah.
And I'll take competence over competence because competence is getting it done.
Yes.
Okay? And that's the big thing right there. Now, you got connection. Connection is about one thing, and that's really critical to everything. In coaching, in teaching, in business, it's all about relationships with people.
Mm-hmm.
They can be great, they can be good, and they can be ugly. And when they're not good, that's not going to be good. So it's kind of like if I'm the boss man, right, or however you want to say that, the guy in charge. You don't work for me, so you work with me. So there's a difference in those two things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking down to you. Your success is going to make my what? Success.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a two-way street here. And, that's the connection with people. Strong relationships. Those take time to get.
Yes.
Because, again, it comes into the next one, which is character, integrity, value. You can talk about character all you want. But if you're not living that every day, you're just living a false lie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You're just faking people out. And people are smart enough to know when you're an original or a fake. Okay? God made you an original. Don't die a copy. Okay? That's what most people do. They die copies. And then the fifth one is big. It's huge. I wrote about this today to a friend. Purpose beyond yourself. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's really about what can you do to help others. What are you doing to make somebody's life better today? And it's the simplest things. The simplest things. Like you heard me down there talking to those two players.
Yep.
Okay, I was going over what they did. And I always tell them the good. Here's what I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Most people start with the bad. And that just sinks the ship before you start.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's negative, negative, negative. Okay, you know why? Because they're negative. And negative breeds negative. So much time. Let me tell you what I liked. Okay? When we make these adjustments, well, I'm going to have a lot more light. Okay? That's beyond yourself. Okay? The next one, okay, with that, you can't have, it ain't always going to be perfect. So you got to learn how to manage stress and emotions effectively.
Yeah, coping
with that, okay? So your reaction, sometimes you got to be like a goldfish.
Mm-hmm.
Heard that saying? They got about 10 seconds. They can remember something for about 10 seconds.
That's the theory, yeah.
Let it go. Now, I don't know if I've heard that. I like that. Okay, so you can't respond. Sometimes you got to just, it's a word in here, and I see it pop up more and more and more on things I read every day. It's called patience.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm struggling with that from time to time.
Yeah, just a little.
So I'm working on it. Patience, patience, patience. Okay? Take a couple seconds before you bite. You know what I mean? Like that. Take a couple seconds. And then when you do that, you get to number 7. That's where you're in control. And you own your decisions, and you're going in the direction you want to go, not what everybody else wants you to go. Because you're you. God only made one of you. And he knew when he made you what was going to happen. He knew how things were going to happen. And, as we go on and on into this thing deeper and deeper, you're going to see how resiliency is going to come out in other phases of my life, other phases of my coaching, other phases of my business, other phases of my motivational speaking, my mentorship. You'll see it come out. All in different pieces. And it didn't all come out at once. These have been years in between and sometimes decades. Why did it wait so long to come out? I can't answer that question. And not in my hands. So when you look at those things, those C's, that confidence, that competence, the connection, the relationships, the character, the integrity. John Wooten said this, be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is who you really are, while your reputation is merely what other people think you are. And as long as you know, and they think, you're always one step ahead of them, which means they're never going to catch you.
Yeah.
And contribution, be a bigger purpose in yourself. Coping, how you handle that stress and emotions effectively. And control, your decisions and the direction you want it to take. Positive, sideways, or negative. It's all on you. It will always be on you. It's never your mom, your coach, your teacher. It's on you to make it happen. So if it doesn't happen, the person you brush your teeth with tonight and you look in that mirror, that would be the problem.
There's your answer right there. You didn't prepare.
No preparation. Preparation.
So out of those 7, is there anyone there you might emphasize more with, like some of these young kids you work with here at Sports City U, over another one? Or is it just a whole, look at it as a holistic approach that, these are all equally as important?
Well, if I was going to say one, they're all equally important.
Okay.
But one is the competence.
Okay.
Because here's what happens. The key word there is done. Get things done. So many people are so close to getting it done, and they quit.
Yeah.
They quit. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you're right there at the finish line. Why would you run 27 miles and get 12 inches from the finish line and not cross?
Yeah.
That blows my mind. Okay. And, it's just like, gosh, how do you do it? Because here's the thing I've learned. If they do that at a young age, it's going to keep multiplying.
Yeah.
And they're going to do it at their, at the high school. Then it's going to turn to college. If you look at kids today, the average 35, 40-year-old, they've had 30 jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what's that tell you? I had one job. I wanted to be a teacher and a coach. They were both the same. Okay, boom. Then I said, well, I want to turn this into another job. I want to start this business. 1992. Well, now it's 2025. When I started it, what'd they tell me? It's not going to work. Now, again, if I believed those people, it would have never worked.
Right.
But I don't believe them. 30-some years later, 3 decades, I'm still standing here. I don't see those other people. You see? So you can't listen to those things. But, it just comes down to these points. You can't just keep going. So I'm going to say it's like this. A coach is like the hand in the back. I'm going to keep pushing. There comes a point in time where that hand ain't there. you got to push yourself. And that's when they hit, I'll get that tomorrow. Well, last time I checked, tomorrow's not a day. And, the longer you put something off, the less likely it's ever going to happen.
Exactly.
And usually it won't. So you can't put it off. Got to make it. Let's go. Got to start tomorrow. Well, I'm not ready. Who cares? Let's start anyway. Well, I'm not prepared. Who cares? Let's start anyway. You'll figure these things out along the way.
Right.
But if you don't start,
you'll never finish.
You're exactly right.
Awesome.
And that's how you got to look at it. That's how I look at those 7 C's right there.
This podcast was produced by Johns Creek Studios, a full-service podcast production, planning, and management provider based in Milton, West Virginia. To learn more, head over to johnscreekstudios.com. Johns Creek Studios, where podcast dreams come to life.
So another thing that I saw in your notes, and I thought this is just awesome, is this idea that there are these 4 pillars of resilience. Can you kind of tell us what those are, Jim, and break them down a little bit from the way you see things?
Sure. First thing is, I think everything starts with the mental.
Okay.
The mind. Thinking is a skill.
Mm-hmm.
Mental side of things, okay? We talk about skills, but we never talk about thinking.
Okay.
So the mental side of things, positive thinking, the grit, when things get a little tough, you know what I mean? Or you're going to throw in the towel, you're going to suck it up and get through it.
Right.
And the growth mindset. See, it's all about growth. What are you doing today to make yourself better? Because really, that's all you're competing against. Mm-hmm. All I want to do today is have a better day than I did yesterday. All I want to do tomorrow is have a better day than I did today. So I'm not compete with the world. I'm competing with myself. And you all know the saying, who is your worst enemy?
Mm-hmm.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Yourself.
It's looking at it and with mental is having that discipline.
Yes.
Having that even having the clarity to see to develop that growth mindset, to build that discipline, to be able to go through and do these things.
Absolutely, 100%. And most people don't have the discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's why they might need to whistle.
Right.
Okay, they don't have the mindset.
Uh-huh.
So you're already 0 for 2.
Yeah, not good.
Not a good start. Okay, then you get to physical.
Right.
Okay, your health. Mm-hmm. I taught health. I always said this: if you ain't healthy, you ain't happy.
Right.
I don't care what you got in life. It all comes down to your health.
Oh, trust me.
Oh, we know.
Let me tell you. I have lost since September. I'm down about 30 pounds.
That's awesome.
And I just feel so much better.
You're going
because I'm trying to get myself in a better place with my health. I got the type 2 diabetes diagnosis, and I've got the high blood pressure and some cholesterol stuff, and I'm trying to combat it.
And that can be fixed. That can be fixed.
Exactly.
But it didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to be fixed overnight.
Right.
And see, that's the thing about today's world. Everybody wants a quick fix.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
Yep.
We ain't got
that's the social media world we live in.
I hate that word. I hate that. So health, physical. When you have good health, you have energy.
Yes.
Okay? But you got to rest.
Mm-hmm.
When it's time to lay it down, you got to lay it down. See, these kids won't turn their brain off.
Oh.
They're laying into bed with their phone. Mm-hmm. Turn it off.
Before we came up here and recorded, I was downstairs and I was speaking with your wife. Great lady. Love talking to her every time when I'm over here. And we were talking, and one of the things we talked about was, I have sleep apnea. So I have a sleep disorder, and I have a CPAP machine. I wear a mask every night. And I told her, I said, before I got the treatment I needed to help with that situation, said I would drive home from work. And this is when I was teaching at Cabell Midland, and I lived in the Westmoreland neighborhood of Huntington. So, 25, 30-minute drive. By the time, when I would leave work and then get home, I would not remember my drive most days.
Had that happened before.
And it's because I was so tired. And I told her, I said, I'd get home and I'd walk in the house. I'd set my bag down by the door, put my keys and my wallet there in the little basket by the door. And before I could sit down on the couch, I was asleep because I was never getting the rest I needed. And this, it was making me a very miserable person, and I couldn't get things done because I couldn't stay focused. I didn't have the energy because I wasn't getting the rest. My health was horrible.
Hey, all my friends, they're my age, guess what? They all got CPAP machines, except me. I've been blessed to where when I put my head down, I'm gone. Because, when I put my head down, I always have a sense of satisfaction because of what I did that day.
Right.
Added value to people. Ain't about me. I'm not thinking about me. Remember we talked about the me versus we mentality?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about us. So, and then that rest, man, that controls your movement. Okay, you're here, you're over here. All that stuff comes down. So you got the mental thinking part, the physical things that go with it. Then you got the social. Now that's where people get in trouble. That's the connection with people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most time when they get in trouble, they're with non-supportive people.
Right.
You got to connect with people that connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
They might not always agree with you. And see, here's the thing. People like me, they drive certain people crazy. See, because I'm an open mindset, they're a closed mindset.
Right.
And people like them, they drive me even more crazy.
Yeah.
So, again, you just got to stay with the supportive people. I want to stay around people that are on the same path with me. I'm not interested in trying to go over here and save the world. I'm not trying, because you can't. Can't fix people. Only people can fix people. I can't change you. Only you can change you.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you some subtle tips. But if you don't listen,
Right.
you can't learn.
Exactly.
Okay. Then the last one is.
It kind of goes back to the mental thing. You got to have that open mind. You've got to be ready to listen to those people who have your back. Because if you don't, I hate to say it this way, but you're screwed.
You're right, 100%. And people do it to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't like your way when some people do it to you. You do it to yourself. So, then you get to the last part, which really, I've never been a big church goer, but I'm a spiritual guy. I don't know all the things about all the stuff like some people can rip scriptures out. I really don't have that. For me, it's about my personal relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to him 100,000 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to him at night before I go to sleep. First thing I say in the morning, when I get my 2 presents every morning, my eyeballs open. Those are the 2 best gifts a person can get in the morning. But it's my, I have a purpose now. I know I'm driven to help people. My faith is stronger probably now than it's ever been. Faith versus fear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'd rather have faith than fear. Now, we all have certain types of fears.
We do.
I can't stand snakes. I don't care what you do.
Snakes,
I'm running the other
mice.
way. Mice don't bother me. Snakes,
that's my two.
I'm going. Okay, so I'm never going to go handle snakes. It's not going to happen. But again, that purpose, that faith, that guides you. That steers you. That's like the steering wheel of your life. Mm-hmm. Right to the values. And then it comes back to your character and your values, which you've already talked about. You got to live what you say.
Yeah.
And some people say one thing and do the what?
Opposite.
And they're fake.
Mm-hmm.
And really good people can tell a fake a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
And
Definitely.
you can't fake a faker.
Mm-hmm.
So, those are the 4 things: the mental, the physical, the social, the connection with the right people, and staying spiritually strong. You got to believe.
Right.
You got to believe in the unseen. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it ain't happening.
Oh, yeah. That is the definition of faith. It's the belief in things unseen.
And I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I can see it. I can see it in my head. I'm just one of these people. I'm a visionary person. I can see it. It's hard to explain to people.
Right.
We're talking right now. My brain might be a month down the road. That's just how I roll. I'm a bouncer. Now, you talk about bouncing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. But, this is keeping me, right. We're bouncing, but we know what we're doing.
Right.
I'm not just throwing stuff out randomly at you. That happens sometimes too.
It does.
And sometimes in just conversations, somebody will say something like, this is the wildest stuff. I'll be watching television and I might be watching a Ford truck commercial and they'll say 2 or 3 things that went right over most people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take those 2 or 3 things and I'll flip it to basketball. I'll flip it to life.
Yeah.
I'll flip it this and I get my phone, go to my notes, write her down.
Yeah.
And that's a topic for another conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I learn stuff, man. They said, did you hear what they said? What about the truck? I said, no, did you hear what they said in between? No, I wasn't even paying attention. See, that's how my brain works.
Right.
People say stuff you don't even think is valuable. And I'll pick 2 or 3 things out of what you said, put it in my notes.
Mm-hmm.
It's always 3 things. It's never like big, long, drawn-out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Quick hitters, man.
Yeah.
Quick hitters. And that's how my brain works, and that's how I come up with all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're kind of in the middle of of what we've looked at and talked about, behind the scenes and the notes and stuff we've had put together. So we're going to actually split this idea of resilience up into 2 episodes. Before we finish up, though, real quick, I just want to throw this out there. We do have a website that is available. It is at shootingitstraightpodcast.com. And if you go there and you go to the post for this episode, you have the ability as an end user to leave a comment there. So I'm going to throw this out there. If you have a personal anecdote, maybe some advice, something that has sparked in your brain as a listener here on the podcast to what we've talked about so far, go up there and post a comment. Mention something, put it there. It might even be, like, for example, let's look at the question I asked Jim about these 7 C's of resilience. Like, is there one of those that you think is more important than the other? And why is that? Share that with us. And like what of these pillars we just talked about, the mental, the physical, the social, the spiritual, which of those do you turn to when times get tough as your way to go? So kind of go to the website and hit up the post for this episode. You'll see it there. The latest episode is always across the top of the page right there. You can just click on it, go down to the bottom of the page, put in your name, your email address, and start typing your comment, post it up there. And if you do that, then we'll bring them back on the next episode. We'll talk about those and what people in the community have had to share. But as we do each week, we're going to close out our show with my personal favorite segment that I've ever come up with for a podcast, just because Jim means that much to me. He has these pearls of wisdom. So let's get ready for Jimmy's Wisdom of the Week.
Now it's time for Jimmy's Wisdom of the Week. This is where Jimmy shares one of his famous Jimmyisms to inspire the listeners.
So the one you sent me this week, I've got it here on the notes. I'm going to read it off and then I'm going to let you take off and explain it to us. You said to me, all adversity leads to opportunity. Be ready and grab it and take it to a new level.
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, so sometimes when you had adversity, the biggest problem is you feel sorry for yourself. Every time something has a setback, remember, it's going to possibly be a bigger comeback. It all leads to opportunity. Because you know why? Because you learn from it. You learn from it. And when you learn from it, what are you doing? We've already talked about that. You're growing. You're growing. So it's like a plant. You put a seed in the ground, everything grows down before that little seed pops through the earth. And when that little seed pops through that earth, there's way more going on below it than you see, kind of like a glacier.
Yeah.
You see the little top of it, but it's what's underneath that's building.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, that adversity, again, we're going to have those things every day. Some way of, some way, means, shape, or form, some bigger than others. But again, it doesn't matter what happens to you. It just matters where you're going to do it. But what's the opportunity out of it?
Mm-hmm.
What didn't I get? See, nobody's looking for the opportunity.
Right.
They're feeling sorry for themselves because of the adversity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you just hold on a second, patience, goldfish, patience, okay, you'll see the opportunity. You'll see the opportunity. Okay? And sometimes it comes quick. Sometimes it doesn't come quick. Okay? But when you think of things, I know on my cancer journey, I have learned and grown in areas because of that adversity that I'm suffered from when I first heard it, that I never would have grown. I'm a better person. Now, do I wish I didn't have cancer? 100%.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what happens to you. It just matters what are you going to do about it.
Yeah.
And all the things we talked about tonight all play into that right there.
Yeah.
End of story. End of game. Game over. Victory. You got it? Nice game. Nice game. Nice game. I love the victories. And the last thing I'm going to tell you is, and I don't know if I'm missing this or not, because sometimes my brain bounces. But in the world today, 24 hours, here's what I know, 100%. You're going to have more little victories today than you did the big.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't pay attention to the little victories, don't worry about the big victory.
Yep.
Adversity, opportunity. Little victories, big victories.
Mm-hmm.
And they all work what? Hand in hand.
Exactly.
And they will forever if you know how to handle it.
Awesome. So real quick, let's wrap up what we've talked about on this episode, and then we'll head in for closing it up and preview a little bit what we might be talking about on the next one. So real quick, let's talk about it. Resilience is how you bounce, not whether you fall. It's how you bounce back from the setback that has happened. And everybody faces setbacks. It's what you do next that defines you and sets you on the right path.
100%.
We talked about the 7 C's of resilience. Jimmy went through those. And we also talked about those 4 pillars of resilience. So some great things we've covered on this episode here of Shooting It Straight. Next week, we're going to go and look at resilience a bit more. We're going to talk about the idea of, can you teach resilience? Is that something that a person can show someone else how to do and what to do? We're going to talk about things that might get in the way of an individual being able to be resilient. And then we're going to kind of close out and talk about what mentally strong people do that's different from others. So there's a preview of what we're going to talk about on the next episode of Shooting It Straight. I'm Randy Black, my co-host.
Jim Clayton.
And we're going to sign off. So have a great week, everybody. Remember, head to the website, make a comment on the post for this episode, share with us some feedback or something, and we'll be glad to share that on the next episode. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, share it with someone who needs a boost, and follow us online at shootingitstraightpodcast.com. That's where you'll find every episode, updates, and more.
The spotlight don't make you, it reveals you. So when life turns up the heat, don't flinch. And remember, keep shooting it straight. Bam, son!